Before you register your startup, let me ask you this very crucial question. Are you 100% sure on what business structure are you going to choose? Because remember, whatever business structure you choose, it will have an implication on your audit, on your taxation, on your liability, on your profits. There are many things. And that is the reason I'm here with this video for you. Hi, this is Anirudh Bellare here. Welcome to the 63rd video of Your Best Financial Life series. Today's video is not going to be any normal personal finance thing which I keep telling you. This is a slightly different version because I feel why every time investments as in why to give a lot of awareness and knowledge about only one core field. Why not change something different? And that is the reason you see all of this behind me. And this is a disclaimer before you watch this video fully that I may not be an expert, but I could be one of the persons who could give you that awareness which can help you forward in making the right decisions. And you can obviously tweak those decisions. And remember, for any business structure, you need to understand why are you starting your business in the first step. Business as in any startup. Now see, there are types. For all of you, those who are seeing this and who were commerce students, you would be knowing, you would have read this similar concept in your, if I'm not wrong, 11th or 12th standard business studies. But that is all past. But right now, when you actually have to choose your business structure, these core terms becomes very important for you, because remember, you have to do your registration, you have to know a lot of things. So let's move on to the first and most important point over here. Who is a sole proprietor? See, sole is nothing but an individual. Proprietor is nothing but an owner. So what does it mean in simple English terms? Single owner. That is one owner. Now, one owner, what can he do with this startup? There are many things. The first thing he can do is, how will he register this business? Before moving on to the most important point, how will he actually register this business? If I'm not wrong, okay, you can go on Google and actually type all of this. Then you must be thinking, why am I giving this video to you? This is an awareness video. And remember, this has to be done through a government registration, as I've written it down here. And remember, the person who is starting the startup, the loans or the debt which he takes to start his business, he takes the full responsibility of it. Now, what do you mean by full responsibility of it? There is something called limited liability and unlimited liability. Decoding these in simple words, limited liability means if anything happens to the company, you are liable to pay only a sum of money which has gone to the business, which you have to pay back to the business. And the meaning of unlimited liability is nothing but if something happens to the business, or if you're not able to pay the loan, you have to somehow arrange funds and pay back the loan. This is nothing but business and you are same, because there is no separate legal entity here. You have your own unlimited liability which you have to pay in some or the other scenario. If you are in a cash crunch scenario whereby you don't have money to pay your creditors, what will you do? You need to arrange funds from somewhere. Now see, remember, as this is an awareness video, there could be certain mistakes, and I'm extremely sorry if you find some. But please try and understand, before you do anything in life, this video and whatever I'm teaching, it could be a bit of a dry subject. What does that mean? Difficult to understand. But always remember, in life, you can make things easier, whether it's through this video or whatever. Now, for you to understand which is the right business structure, you need to actually see what is your long-term goal. whether it's your profit sharing or you want to make your company big, many other things are there like that, right? Now see, it's easy for me to actually read all of this, but to give you that explanation type, you need to understand in very simple words. So moving on to the next type, what is the meaning of one person company? Now see, the term company itself is a more broader aspect than a sole proprietor. Sole proprietor, as I mentioned, individual owner. Now one person company is this person has established his own company. How has he done it? And before moving on to how has he done it, he has obviously, if I'm not wrong, what he has done, whatever procedures. And see, for your sole proprietor and own person companies, understood, pretty much understood that you have full control, and your person and company are two different things. That is the most important difference here. And understand, in one person company, if something happens to your business, you are not liable to pay the full amount. Like, you don't have to, that term called unlimited liability, you need not necessarily have to pay all the amount, because remember, business and you are two different things over here. Now when you see, how will you actually register this business? As I mentioned, the Google stuff and all, the most important thing, while registering your business in one person company, you need to ensure that you have a nominee. Now what is the meaning of this word nominee? Like, say for example, just moving into an investments account, or if at all you go on a trip or with your college, whatever. Now see, I'll give you an example of my life. Before I'd gone for an industrial visit with my college, I had to sign a form and bring that form to my parents. Now what is this form? Anything happens to your child, we are not responsible. The parents have to sign it. Why? Because college is not responsible. The exact same concept, if you take here, who is a nominee? If something happens to the child, in this scenario, if something happens to me as an owner of the business, who will take the responsibility if the owner is not there? That person is a nominee. If something happens to me or anyone, whoever is heading that business, who will then be responsible to run that business, called your nominee. That is why during registration this becomes important. And also remember, as I mentioned, because it is a company, you have your income tax returns which you are supposed to keep filing it, and you require the permission of Ministry of Corporate Affairs, if I'm not wrong. See, again I'm telling, I may not be an expert in this, and I too am learning in the process. Via teaching you, we both can learn. It's a mutual learning basis. So pardon me if there are any mistakes as well. Okay, so let's move on to the next partnership point. See, in simple English language, what is the meaning of the word partner? Partner is nothing but somebody along with you who is ready to do business with you in that scenario, and in this scenario as well. Now in partnership, it is even though understood that two people running the business is better than one, because you can share the responsibilities and you can delegate tasks if there is a mutual understanding for both of you to head that business. Okay, and over here, 2 plus manage the business, which is very much understood. You have unlimited liability. So UL is nothing but unlimited liability, which means if anything happens to the business as in if at all the business is liable to pay its creditors, then remember, your both partners are responsible to pay the complete amount to their creditors, and that is what is unlimited liability, whereby the owners itself have to pay off the loan, not the business. That is why partnership is another important term when it comes to unlimited liability. And then you have your registration is optional. Now how is it optional? It is comparatively easier to make a partnership firm than a 1% company, if I'm not wrong. So as I mentioned, you're two people finding solutions and adhering to problems are more comparatively easy, which is why it helps you that choosing partnership could be a pretty decent option as well. Now, see, the next point here is limited liability partnership. This is what becomes important. Now, with this word, if you see limited liability, as I mentioned, if anything happens to the business, the owners of the business, they are liable to pay only their share of money which they had taken from the business, or if they have to pay any creditor. But when you see partnership, the owners have to be fully liable, which is whatever the amount comes on the business by its creditors, all the amount has to be paid by the owners itself. That is why you see the term difference between unlimited and limited liability over here. And as I've written more points, your in limited liability partnership, another most important thing is many people, whatever amount of people, how much ever you wish, or if there is a minimum and maximum level, as I've not mentioned, but if you find it, you can find it, that you can form your limited liability partnership, minimum X amount of people and maximum Y amount of people, if it is there. Okay, I might not have written it. And in limited liability partnership, what else you have? Like you have your tax advantages, your partner protection, it's easier to set up than your private limited company. These are certain things which you can keep in mind, okay, before you actually take any decision. Now see, whether this video could be useful for you or not, I have no answer for it, but you can use this information for your best learning. Like say for example, even if you are a student who is going through this video, it could be useful for your exam as well. To remember points. And for the business structure, you get a fair awareness on your next step. Because when there are so many choices, remember in life also you have choices. That is the time you need to decide what choice will be the best according to this one word named criteria. Your criteria of yours will define how important it is for you to take that decision at that moment of time. Okay, and your next one is your private limited company, as I mentioned. In this you can take your equity funding and your limited liability to how much ever the partners invest in the business, that much they are liable, okay, to pay the creditors if at all in any case. And then you have your employee stock exchange, which can also be put in the business, and all of this audit filings to your registrar of companies, your income tax returns, board meetings, everything need to be shown to your Ministry of Corporate Affairs. So these are some writings. See, as a student, I can tell you one thing. To remember all this and to explain in front of a camera could be eventually a bit boring. But if you actually go through this, it could be a little confusing because of the colors. And that is the reason I am ensuring that I could make it more easier for you to understand. If you still did not understand, you can go through this video once again, or you can find different videos of different channels. It's okay, it's not a problem. This is a learning for me as well to improvise myself in the upcoming videos, because remember, this is out of my comfort zone in teaching. If you go through my YouTube channel, you will find a lot of personal finance related content which I love to teach about, but this is something different. And the reason I took this video topic is because my knowledge in this is comparatively less. So for me, in order to learn something, the best thing is to teach. The best thing for you is to listen as well. So that's how a person learns. If you see, I don't know the exact term, but there is a kind of board whereby 40% of what you listen, you can remember. There is some board like this. 30% when you see, you can remember. 20% when you say, you can remember. There is some order like this. But the best thing where your memory can reach to your top extent for most of the people, according to research or whatever, is when you explain. Now, when you explain your emotions, to your friend according to however you're feeling or whatever the topic is, you tend to feel lighter, right? This is in terms of your day-to-day life. But in terms for you to understand a concept, even if you try explaining to your mom or your dad, whatever the concept, it'll become easier for you to actually remember that scenario and situation as well. That is the reason I'm giving this video to you. Thank you so much for watching this video till the end. If you did like this video, or if you do feel that I can improvise in in the next video, you can do let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for your valuable time, because remember, it is because of your valuable time that I feel really blessed to share this video with you. Thank you so much. Until then, let's meet in the next video.